So today we're gonna read I Will Never Not Ever Eat a Tomato by Lauren Child. I have this little sister, Lola. She is small and very funny. Sometimes I have to keep an eye on her. Sometimes mom and dad ask me to give Lola her dinner. This is difficult because she's a very fussy eater. Lola won't eat carrots, of course. She says carrots are for rabbits. I say, what about peas? Lola says, peas are too small and too green. One day I played a good trick on her. Lola was sitting at the table waiting for her dinner, and she said, I do not eat peas, or carrots, or potatoes, or mushrooms, or spaghetti, or eggs, or sausages. I do not eat cauliflower, or cabbage, or baked beans, or bananas, or oranges, and I am not fond of apples, or rice, or cheese, or fish sticks. And I absolutely will never, not ever, eat a tomato. My sister hates tomatoes. Hmm. It sounds like she really doesn't like a lot of stuff, but his parents said that he has to find a way to feed Lola. Well, if she's so picky, how is he gonna feed her? Hmm. So she really doesn't like a lot of foods, but her brother has to feed her somehow, like we said. Well, I know that there have been times that my parents made food that I didn't like either, but I had to eat it anyway. Sometimes they'd let me have dessert if I ate all my food. Or they would tell me I'd get big and strong if I ate all my vegetables, just to get me to eat the food I didn't like. Hmm. I wonder if Lola's brother is going to do something similar to that. Let's find out. And I said, that is lucky because we're not having any of those things. We're not going to eat any peas or carrots or potatoes or mushrooms or spaghetti or eggs or sausages. There will be no cauliflower or cabbage or baked beans or bananas or oranges. We don't have any apples or rice or cheese or fish sticks, and certainly no tomatoes. Lola looked at the table. Then why are those carrots there, Charlie? I don't ever eat carrots. And I said, oh, you think these are carrots. These are not carrots. These are orange twiglets from Jupiter. Hmm. He calls the carrots orange twiglets. Twiglets from Jupiter. Twiglets is a funny word. I'm not really sure what it means. Well, the word twiglets also has the word twig in it, and I know what a twig is. A twig is a small branch from a tree. I know that another word we could use for twig is stick, so using my background knowledge of the word twig, I can assume that he's probably calling the carrots small orange sticks from Jupiter. That's funny. They look just like carrots to me, said Lola. But how can they be carrots? I said. Carrots don't grow on Jupiter. That's true, said Lola. Well, I might just try one if they're all the way from Jupiter. Mmm, not bad, she said, and took another bite. Huh, that's really interesting because she said earlier in the story how she really didn't like carrots. But now she's eating them, and she actually kind of liked it. That's really interesting. Hmm. Then Lola saw some peas. I don't eat peas, said Lola. I said, these are not peas. Of course they're not. These are green drops from Greenland. They are made out of green and fall from the sky. But I don't eat green things, Lola said. Oh, goody, I said. I'll have your share. Green drops are so incredibly rare. Well, now Lola has eaten the carrots. The narrator is also trying to call the peas something that they aren't. That's interesting. Wonder why he's doing that. Well, I know that he mentioned that Lola is a really picky eater. And I also know that when he called the carrots orange twiglets from Jupiter, Lola ate them. This makes me think that the narrator has realized that when he makes up fun stories about the foods Lola doesn't like, she ends up eating them and enjoying them. So let's see if she ends up eating the peas. Well, maybe I'll nibble just one or two. Oh, said Lola, quite tasty. Next, Lola saw the potato. I will not eat potatoes, so don't even try, not even mashed. Oh, this isn't mashed potato. People often think that, but no, this is cloud fluff from the pointiest peak of Mount Fuji. Oh, said Lola, in that case, a large helping for me. I love to eat cloud. Charlie, she said, those look like fish sticks to me, and I would never eat a fish stick. Well, those are fish sticks. I know that. These are not fish sticks. These are ocean nibbles from the supermarket under the sea. Mermaids eat them all the time. Oh, I went to that supermarket one time with Mom. Yes, I know the ones. I think I've had them before. Are there any more? Lola said, gobbling. Wow, she's been eating the fish sticks. And then she said, Charlie, will you pass me one of those? Okay, now she's asking for food. I wonder what's about to happen. And I said, what, one of those? Charlie seems confused. And Lola said, yes, Charlie, one of those. And I couldn't believe my eyes because guess what she was pointing at? The tomatoes. What? The title of the book is literally called I Will Never Not Ever Eat Tomatoes. And now she's asking for tomatoes. I wonder why that is. And I said, are you sure? Really? One of these? And she said, yes, of course. Moon squirters are my favorite. Wow. You didn't think they were tomatoes, did you, Charlie? And look at all these different foods. They're the different names that Charlie came up with. Orange twiglets, green grubs, ocean nibbles, cloud fluff, and even moon squirters, which Lola herself came up with for her least favorite food. Wow. After all that complaining and fighting, in the beginning, Lola decides to eat the tomatoes all on her own. Narrator made eating the foods Lola didn't like into a fun experience by imagining them as something else, like orange twiglets from Jupiter or green jobs from Greenland. Now Lola can eat the things she didn't like before by making up a fun story in her head. How exciting is that?